Okay. Can everyone see that screen fine?
Yeah, I can see it. Looks great.
Wonderful.
So everyone, thank you for joining, and thanks for taking the time at 6 on a Tuesday to chat about insurance for your business. It is an important topic. And really what we're doing at Upcover is just really trying to make things super simple and easy, and working through with Blys means that we can try and assist you guys as quickly as we possibly can to help you get up and running and get the insurance you need as quickly as possible. So what we're going to kind of run through today, as Erin mentioned, is why you might need the insurance, what you might be covered for, what are the kind of products that would be offered, and other products that you might be interested in kind of understanding or learning more about. Lots of, if the, in the next slide, Erin.
Yes. This is going to be
there also might be some questions that you might have about specific certifications that you might need, which some insurance providers do require for you to upload, and we can certainly address that and answer the questions around that. But then as well, what are some kind of things that might happen? Everyone might always think that it might not ever happen to them. And the unfortunate thing is, very recently I've heard about two health professionals and practitioners, particularly massage therapist claims. And the unfortunate thing is it happens when you least expect it. So the best thing to do is just have that peace of mind so that you are protected as a business owner and your business is protected. And very importantly too, your client has somewhere to go so that they can actually get the help that they need. And you don't have to stress so much about that as well, because claims can be quite stressful. And then, of course, we can talk a little bit about Blys and Upcover and how that works too. When I'm presenting and if I'm answering any questions today, everything I say will be about general advice. So you should always absolutely make a decision that's best for you and your business and the circumstances that take in your situation. And unfortunately, I can't provide personal advice about the suitability of the product. But I would say what we do say is we've partnered with a market-leading insurance provider. So Insurance 101. What is the insurance that most typically is required for you to purchase as a massage therapist or allied health practitioner? It's actually typically called public and products liability insurance, or public liability. It's also called general liability insurance, as well as professional indemnity insurance. They're complicated words, and I swear I think it took me a few months to get a handle on it myself. But what I have put in here is actually what they protect you from. And that is really about injuries to your clients or any third party. So that's while you're providing your services as a business owner. If you were to injure someone while you're doing that or in the course of providing your services, and if they were injured, even killed, unfortunately, or severely injured, or if there was a claim arising from something occurring like that, that's where the public liability insurance comes into play. There's also cover for property damage, where if unfortunately there was some property that was damaged while you're providing your services, that also is something that might happen while you're taking or removing jewelry, for example, providing prior to or after you're providing a service, for example. And then, of course, injuries caused through products. We get lots and lots of queries about different, and if you've got specific queries yourselves about things that you might be providing that are ancillary or in addition to the great work that you'll be doing as a business owner, we can absolutely talk about that too. But fundamentally, when it comes to products that you might be providing, this might be you're using them in your services, or you're also selling them in your services, and there's an adverse reaction or injury that arises out of that. You don't need to be manufacturing that product, not at all. It's relabeling the product with your own label or your own brand is okay, or even keeping someone else's brand and just reselling it and there being an adverse reaction. That is cover for that under product liability insurance. And then there is also what's called professional indemnity. And this is an interesting thing though, because when I started to delve into this, you think sometimes advice services, and you would all know this much better than I would, but advice services, you typically think about a lawyer or an accountant or even a teacher. But, massage therapists provide advice, and it's about, anecdotal things that you might be saying or some recommendations that you might be making about further treatment or a course of action. If you're doing ancillary services in addition to massage, for example, beauty therapy, certainly around facial care or pre-wedding treatment or regimes, for example, and then that leading to adverse reactions. That can lead to what might be called an allegation of bad advice, which is professional indemnity insurance. And that's also where a lot of claims might arise from. Then, of course, there's many other types of insurance. We've had some queries around people wanting glass cover if they've got their own bricks and mortar setup, as well as cover for your own equipment as well. And we've got a broad and expanding list of products to make sure that there's cover for as many products as possible if you need them. And if you're interested about anything particularly, please also just let us know. And then, of course, finally, protecting yourself. Everyone knows about WorkSafe and Safe Work and workers' compensation insurance. The interesting thing when you're kind of going out on your own as a business owner is it can be quite expensive. So there are some alternative insurance products that are out there that if you're injured while providing your services, there is some loss of income cover or some payments that might be made if you're injured and unable to work as well. So that's a little bit about Insurance 101. Does anyone have any burning questions about products? You honestly think no one's going to ask a question. Erin did a presentation to probably about 30 counsellors the other day on cyber insurance, and I finished the presentation so early, and then we actually spent 25 minutes talking about cyber. Every burning question, one just turned into another. So there is no such thing as a silly question. If you have anything, we deal with them, and I probably handled about 40 queries today in addition to just the normal work day. So please ask away, and I can answer them in real time.
Brilliant. Okay, I'll move on.
Erin, if you have questions, please let me know.
I'm full of questions. I'll fire away.
So this is actually a real claim, and I think there's nothing that really kind of illustrates what unfortunately can go wrong. And for many people, they may never experience a claim, but what happens is there's peace of mind. So this is a real thing that happened. It's actually a combination of two different claims that have occurred that we've been notified about. Nothing to do with Blys and nothing to do with anyone that's a customer at Upcover, but we've heard about it in the industry recently, and I thought it was very, very useful to try and illustrate what insurance might be able to help with, which basically is just a big headache. So, and definitely just the, any injuries or hassle when it comes to someone that's been hurt. It's a very, very difficult time. So, a pregnant woman was being provided a massage from an untrained therapist, or, simply enough, they may not have had the adequate trainings or certifications in place to provide that specific type of care. This caused increased pain for the client, who had pelvic girdle pain. Further, the client was not assisted from the bed and they fell. So everyone knows, I don't know if every single one of you have it, but some of those electronic beds are so useful to help probably with all of your back pain, even though you're providing all that great care. They weren't able to get off the bed and they fell. This actually led to quite a significant claim, 6 figures, in fact. So not always typical. And this injured the client and caused them significant stress and pain, leading to a claim. When we're talking about a claim, what they basically might mean is they might be going to a New South Wales Civil and Administration Tribunal. They might even be sending you a letter from a lawyer or even from themselves asking exactly, Amadine, I love that you wrote something. Basically alleging that there was some kind of injury, damage that caused loss, and that they're basically asking for money or compensation or something back from you. It might even also be an apology. But what that does is it just can cause a significant amount of stress if you're to handle all of this on your own, in addition to trying to run the rest of your business. And what insurance claims teams can do, and I certainly used to do, is try and provide a lot of support when it comes to ensuring that you have the right care, lawyers to assist you, and as much of your costs completely covered as possible, as well as helping with the strategy of the defence so that you can get back to running your business and not worry so much about, the very unfortunate event that occurred, because this is what happens. Unfortunately, sometimes mistakes are made. I think, Amadine, you hit the nail on the head. So the biggest issue, I think, in this situation is this person did not have the adequate training. And that actually highlights a further point, Erin, if you go to the next slide, on what can you actually do, or how ways other than ensuring you might have insurance. But what are the things that you can do as a business owner to ensure that you are making sure that you have the adequate cover? Because I guess once you purchase it, you can think about setting and forgetting. The second most important thing, I think, would be just to ensure that you've got the right limits that people require you to have. If you provide certain services or have a landlord work in a council environment and the council requires insurance, or even wonderful Erin here at Blys, if they require certain limits, then it's important for you to have those limits. And then also just making sure that your insurance is active at any given point in time. And there's so many reasons for that. And I don't think anyone's got the mental capacity to deal with that at 6:30 at night. So I won't dig into it. But basically what can happen is you can provide your services to someone, and something might happen yesterday or 2 years ago. What happens if you purchase from an insurance or have consistent insurance arrangement in place is you might actually be able to provide or be provided cover for as long as you've had your insurance and been providing your professional services. That might be 10 years, let's say 7 years even. Let's say 7 years, and then on the 6 years and 351 days, someone makes a claim against you about something you did so long ago. There'd be cover under that, because that existing insurance arrangement would still cover you for insurance for services that you provided so long ago. So that's also why it's really important to make sure you just consistently have your insurance in place. But here, going back to basics, and Amadine and many of you on the call today will probably already know these things, but really ensuring that everyone is adequately trained and certified. No staff providing services that they're not trained or skilled to do. And then I think the one thing that we actually get lots of queries about too is if you do anything that's a little bit ancillary, even if it's reselling products or additional services that you want to just double check that you might have cover for, always ask. And that's even if you've got your insurance arrangement with someone that's not Upcover. And just try to make sure that you're comfortable and have the peace of mind that you're covered for every single activity that your business does. This isn't personal advice. This is just what I would say generally to anyone. And I think that's the approach to have. How many things do you do? And, sometimes the biggest and broadest occupation might cover you for absolutely everything, but also sometimes it's good to specify, particularly if you're unsure about something as well. Erin, does that make sense?
Yes, that makes complete
sense. I don't want to call on be like a classroom situation where I ask someone.
Watch out, everyone.
Watch out. So at Upcover, what are we doing? So yeah, I'm the CEO and I've worked in the insurance industry for 10 years, but I'm actually a daughter of a small business owner, and been working in his shops, my dad's shops, from the age of 9, and it's just given me an incredible insight and passion about helping business owners just get on with things and make things less complicated. I'm a trained lawyer. I'm a total insurance geek. I think that's how we started the conversation, which really was very uncool. And then we now have a tech startup, so now I'm very, very popular. But it's not great dinner conversation, everyone. So thank you for taking the time to join this call before or after your dinner. So what do we do at Upcover? We are really, really trying to make things super simple and easy for yourselves. And how we do that is actually we partner with Blys. And we love to partner with partners like Blys because we know that they are doing the right thing, ensuring that you all have the adequate cover and certifications already in place, that you might have insurance. And then they're doing these wonderful things like webinars to help you feel that you have peace of mind to just get on with things and do as much work as you might possibly need to or want to. It's your choice. That's the great thing about modern days today. So what do we do? At the moment, it's all about giving you a price and serving that up in a couple of seconds. The customer success and servicing has been really, really positive. We've got a couple hundred 5-star, I think a couple 4-star reviews, but a couple hundred 5-star reviews, which is really just tremendous and probably one of the best, customer ratings or Google review ratings for any kind of insurance provider that we've seen for small to medium-sized businesses like yourselves. What we do is through the networks and all the things that I learned in the insurance industry is where I'm actually partnering, and we're partnering with what we believe are market-leading insurance providers and products. And we just partner with one provider for each occupation like yourselves. And we learn as much as we possibly can about that product so that we can help give you, general comments or clarify any concerns you might have about a product so that you get that peace of mind and can just get on with running things as quickly as possible. And then our customer success team, so they can respond very, very quickly to help with anything that you might need, whether it's increased limits, change of policy. I had a customer today, everyone. She started her business, no joke, 10 months ago. And she's an allied health practitioner too. She's a single mum. I said to her, I want to build a business case study out of this story. It's just amazing. She has 17 staff now, and she didn't even realize how much revenue she was doing, and I had to calculate it for her. And she's doing $900,000 in revenue, which is just tremendous. And this is the thing that we want to be able to support and help people do, which is grow your business if you're choosing to, but also get the cover that you need to for, your side business or the little bit of work that you're doing in addition to some employment or anything else as well. And then, of course, broad coverage for all of your activities all in one place. So, always ask us the question. If there's something that you do and it's actually not quite massage therapy, but you do want to kind of make sure you've got cover for it, you might be a support worker for disabled people, for example, or something else. You might do some beauty therapy and massage therapy. I think sometimes that does quite align beautifully. But why not try and get everything covered? Personal training, try and get everything covered in one policy. And that's something that the partnership through Blys and Upcover, we've been able to afford you to be able to access. And that means that you're not paying for two policies, which is great news too.
Skye, are a lot of the mindfulness services, like if you did meditation or counseling or breath work and things like that, are they all covered under that same allied health insurance that covers massage and beauty therapists?
Exactly. So while you're getting a quote for massage therapy, you can add as many, exactly, if you're going to do facials, add it in so that you can actually be sure that, massage therapy isn't quite providing facials, but it could be, I guess. But why not just make sure that you add it into the policy and you're covered for everything you do? So yeah, absolutely. So breathworks, meditation, counseling. I just did a quote. We did a quote today for a spiritual healing therapist. And that is an occupation. Yes. So there's about 200 occupations that you can select from. If you're not sure, reach out to us through the blys.upcover.com webpage, or reach out to us directly. We'll always, there's a good and strong relationship between Blys and Upcover, so we'll always know where you come from, but you can always let us know too. And that means you'll get priority around servicing and us helping answer your questions and making sure that, you're getting the cover that you need as quickly as you can. Flaming cupping course. Oh my God, I don't even know what that is, Amadine. That I did learn about Theorodou therapy yesterday. Is that leeching, everyone? It's amazing. And yeah, so look, ask away. Sometimes it's going to be a no. So I learned that Theorodou therapy isn't covered. But Martine, can you actually talk? Just don't type. I want to hear your voice now.
Wait, is this actual leeches or not?
Amazine, talk to us.
Yeah, hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm really good.
So I did a cupping course and I did with flame. So in reality, we take the cup and we put flame inside and we put on the client. So it can be a little bit more risky. So I would like to know, do I need to say something about it, or because you can put fire on the client?
So cupping is an occupation. I know wet cupping isn't covered, but that's the only thing. So what you could do, Amadine, is we could add in cupping. Dry needling, you could add it as an occupation. It's available. So these are just things that we get commonly. If I get enough queries from, and this is the other thing, if I get enough queries from you all and I know that there's not cover for it, I'll push the insurance partner to make sure that we give and we work to try and make sure that the insurance partner can, if they can, and it's within their appetite, give cover where possible too. So please feel free to talk to us. It's definitely a two-way conversation. I have never heard of that, Amadine, but it's just showing all of the things that I need to try, isn't it?
No, but it's really good. It's really good. It's better than the normal cupping, really. But yeah.
Very cool. So Amadine, feel free to reach out and we can add cupping to your policy if that helps.
Thank you.
It's okay. We can go into the next slide, I think. Okay, so this is also, I think, really interesting and important because we get quite a few queries about this too. So there's actually so many different types of activities and occupations, as I said, about 200, but also nowadays, post-COVID, maybe even probably before that for many of you, and especially through the Blys platform, you can provide your services from anywhere. It's not just in a studio, it's not in a traditional kind of spa environment, or not traditionally in your own business environment that might be bricks and mortar. It's actually anywhere. You might be using your car and going to clients' homes, etc. And what you can be insured about is knowing that this actually covers you anywhere in Australia. So even if you were to go on a holiday and provide some services somewhere else in Australia, there's cover for those clients as well. It's not just limited to the state that you might be in or even the address that you put on the policy. And then, yeah, I think as well, it's really important to know too that it's, mobile. It's even possibly telehealth. Some people purchase through us and they actually provide a little bit of training or support or education. You might do that, over a webinar such as this. And I definitely wouldn't be speaking because I wouldn't know how to advise anyone about any of this. But that's also something that you could do too. And definitely online services for allied health is also covered. And Carrie-Anne, I think you just raised a hand and I'm absolutely going to go to you, but one extra thing. If you're doing counselling and meditation and you're doing that from Bali, let's say, Will, I don't know if Will is still on the call, but Will, if you're doing that from Bali, this insurance also does support you if you're doing a holiday and you're actually needing to provide a couple client services to clients while you're away. And so long as you're an Australian business with your ABN, and you're getting paid from an Australian client, you can actually provide your services, from a holiday in a new and wonderful location as well. There are all the different types of queries that we can get when it comes to making sure that, there's cover for your work, wherever it is that you might be doing it. Carrie-Anne, what were you going to ask me? I hope you didn't forget. Oh, you're muted. You're still muted. Oh.
Yeah, sorry, I just trying to take it.
No, it's okay.
No, the question I had is that something only you do? Like I'm sitting here wondering, well, I wonder if the policy I have now is only in New South Wales or if it's Australia-wide. You're presenting it like it's something that you do, but is that something that's normal or is that something that I need to check in my current insurance?
Yeah, so what I generally know is, it's a good question. Insurance might cover a specific location. It depends on how broadly or narrowly the insurance partner might want to interpret their insurance and what the policy might say. Yeah. Generally speaking, if an insurance partner in Australia can offer insurance Australia-wide,
yeah.
But I can't speak exclusively about your insurance, but I have heard of instances where people, thought they might be covered for a certain thing, but then weren't. So it's always best to check, I'd say.
Okay, yeah. No, it's just it's obviously raising queries for me as to what I'm, I've been with my association insurer for nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
And so and they've covered all the different styles of, treatments that
all
are
the
available.
modalities.
That sort of seems normal, but yeah. I suddenly thought, well, maybe it's not normal to expect I'm covered Australia-wide, so I will check.
I think the one thing, Carrie-Anne, is sometimes potentially home-based can be an issue or mobile, but I honestly, massage therapists and some allied health professionals have been doing this for such a long time that I would expect an insurance partner to cover it, but I can't tell you.
My association wouldn't recommend them without that coverage, I would imagine, but I will check. Yeah. The other thing I was going to ask is the point that the insurance company that I'm currently with, that is partnered with my association,
Yep.
has made note to us that they have had to change their underwriter this year. And the reason is because there have been so many claims against therapists, and it's on the increase, particularly with therapists who pierce the skin, such as acupuncture, etc.
Yeah.
So my question would be, you're a new business, or a new startup. I mean, have you got the right coverage from an underwriter?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So while I have some experience and have been able to build and what I would describe as manufacture an insurance product, which is writing that really beautiful policy wording in PDS that people love to read, while I could do that, what we've actually found is probably most beneficial to what we think small to medium-sized businesses need is actually we just choose to partner with people that we think are the best in town. So what we've partnered with for this product specifically is actually an insurance partner that's been operating and selling small to medium-sized business insurance for 30 plus years. They're an award-winning underwriting agency. So you mentioned the underwriter had changed for your existing insurance provider. And they're actually backed by Swiss Re, which is the oldest reinsurer in the world. They're a Standard & Poor's rated business, which is a AA-, which is as strong as many Western countries' governments and their central banks. So we're very fortunate to be able to access insurance of that quality for small to medium-sized businesses.
I mean, it's a business insurance product, obviously, but what we're dealing with is in the health industry. So claims go into the millions, with health insurance claims. So, that's something that I would be concerned about, because, as you said, that pregnancy issue was a 6-figure claim.
Yeah.
And that's why this insurance company that I'm currently with, has had to go to a different underwriter because these claims are so big. So as much as it's a great rated underwriter, does it handle the health industry level of claim?
Oh, yes. So we can actually, so when it comes to claims online, I think the most important thing when it comes to claims, without giving personal advice, is making sure that you're covered and that they say yes when a claim happens. And there's a lot that I could actually just kind of give you some 101s that if something was to happen, how you could handle it. And I might actually do that if we've got a bit of time, because it doesn't take very long and it's some good handy tips. But fundamentally, what the insurance that we've partnered with is it's in line with the industry of allied health professionals. There's 2 reinstatements in the policy. The limits available are up to $20 million for public and products liability and $10 million for professional indemnity. And that means aggregate limits are actually up to $60 million for public and products liability and $30 million for professional indemnity. If in the quote form and the experience that you might go through with Blys, you tell us that you have existing insurance, we automatically apply what's called, technically, an unlimited retroactive date. And what that means is what I said, for as long as you've had insurance and been providing services, if there's a claim when you have insurance with the new policy, it doesn't matter. There's cover under that policy period. So they're the certain things that we've done to try and ensure that, without you having to think so hard about it or try and ask, millions of questions or try and have to break down a very complicated product, we're trying to make you get access to that very market-leading product as well. Absolutely. I mean, so back in the days when I would handle insurance claims, there absolutely can be very significant claims that occur. And it's sometimes surprising when it does happen. It's something that you would never typically expect. But typical claims that I would actually see would be in the 4 digits. So 10, 20, 30,000, sub 50,000. What that means is, within 6 to 9 months, that claim can be resolved, and that person, whoever has had some kind of injury or had something that, some injustice that needs to be rectified, all of that is resolved quite swiftly. And then when it comes to, you know what, Erin, I was actually had it open on my I wonder if I can send everyone like you a link and you can actually go to this link, because I was actually going to show you all the claim form.
Yeah, drop it in the chat.
Is that all right, everyone? Because I'm an insurance geek and I have your captive attention. This is, Carrie-Anne, you make a really good point. This is the thing that you're purchasing. It's so that when you have a claim, you're actually protected. So if Erin, if you can go onto that link for me. And what I'll do is I'll just actually take you through a little bit of the claim form. And what we've done, Carrie-Anne, and anyone else that has more questions about how claims are handled, etc., with this insurance partner. So this claims team itself has also won an award from the insurance industry for one of the best claims teams in Australia. They're predominantly trained lawyers. And when it comes to these types of claims, it's actually quite helpful. It's not necessary, but it's quite helpful because it can be quite technical. And the things that happen, there's usually lawyers involved. So it means that things can happen quite quickly. So if you go onto the make a claim button for me, what we've done, and so Carrie-Anne, this is what we do as a business. We're all about the technology and streamlining the experience, but we leave the true grit of the work to the insurance partner. And that's because they have a team to handle those claims. I mean, while I have worked in claims and handled claims, that's their job. But what we do is we make sure that actually we're trying to help you get all of the information that you need, give it to them as quickly as possible so that they can make a decision as quickly as possible. And that's one thing that I've learned from working in the claims industry as well. So if you just press the start button for me, Erin, these are some things that I've summarized as some top tips. But fundamentally, one thing that's really important, if something happens, even if you think it's going to be a claim, or it might not even be a claim, but someone that's made a complaint, you can notify an insurance partner about that. It doesn't actually cost you anything. It doesn't change or impact your premium, but it might just give you some peace of mind. And that means that if it turns into a claim a year or two from now, there's actually a trigger. It goes back to that date that you notified. So that's something to think about or consider for yourselves, just generally in the course of your business. I don't know. Yes, that pop-up disappears. So when you're making this kind of claim form, it's really important to identify the parties, but then attach any information when it comes to emails, letters, or legal documentation. And then allow the insurance partner to appoint lawyers or make a determination about that. The reason that's really important is if there's a difference in the fee, the hourly fee that they might, so they get really good rates and they negotiate really good deals with lawyers. And that actually means there's going to be no chance of an out of pocket. And it also means that you get help from day one. So definitely worth doing that too. And then, of course, if you're not sure about how to communicate, particularly around accepting liability or telling someone that, yes, it was all your fault and you did everything wrong, for example, or someone else in your team did, for example, and you fired them. It's totally, again, it's your business. No one can tell you how to run your business, but maybe best if it is a claim or even something that might be, 6 figures or more, Carrie-Anne, to just, notify the insurer as soon as possible so they can get on the front foot and help you. What they do is they try and help in mitigating the claim as much as possible to get you back to square one as quickly as possible too. So it'll typically go through this process of both sides might have lawyers or one side might have lawyers, and they'll try and settle the claim by making certain offers, etc. But this is if there's a claim that's accepted and they say that there's cover under the policy. But that's actually how the claims typically work and what you're purchasing cover for. So that's it about claims. Filling a form like this is all online, completely hassle-free. You can fill out as much of it as you feel at the time. Filling it fully means that there's more likelihood of them making a determination and letting you know if there's cover under the policy as quickly as possible, which I think is, really key. And then all of that gets notified and fed through to them instantly as well. And so they can notify and appoint lawyers as well within 24 hours. So they can happen very, very quickly. Did anyone have any questions about claims at all? Cool.
Great. Should we jump back onto the presentation?
Yeah, I think we're almost home and hosed, actually.
Love that. All right, moving on.
So yes. So this is one of the reviews that we've received. And this is just around, Carrie-Anne asking the questions that you wanted to get asked, quickly and easily and in a hopefully relatable way. And that's what we're hoping to get all of our customer success team to do. And it's I say to some people, it's really not rocket science. Insurance should be this good and this easy to work with and handle. And that's really what we're trying to provide. It's, through working with incredible partners like Blys, an equivalent solution when it comes to insurance. So Blys can offer an incredible platform for you to all work with. That there's an insurance option as well that's as a beautiful and simple experience as the Blys experience is. I think that's almost everything.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's it.
Great. We got through it all.
We did.
Well, shall we open up some opportunity to ask some questions if there's anything that hasn't been asked yet?
Yeah, definitely. Any questions at all?
We can either unmute ourselves and ask openly, or if anyone just wants to drop a question in the chat, we can respond that way too. And by we, I mean Skye. It's definitely not me.
Amadine. Oh, sorry, what did you say?
She said, if I want to cover...
As it's not included. So I'm just going to triple check now. So cupping is covered. Wet cupping isn't. There's nothing called fire cupping. I'm just triple checking. Yeah. So what we typically do, Amadine, is we can talk offline about it. But what we say is if you have, Amadine, you just did the certifications and training, you're covered as a massage therapist, just dry cupping. Yeah, exactly. Then we can work to ensure, and you've got the certificates and training, then there's cover under the policy for that work. And it's definitely, then we would say, also say, have a look at the exclusions, and if there's any exclusions, and there's not an exclusion about, a modality that's not covered for massage therapists. So that's probably the best thing to kind of start with. If you do this as a modality and the occupation that you've purchased your insurance under, whether on Upcover or anywhere else, you believe that covers you for the activities that you do. You can always check, as Carrie-Anne said. Carrie-Anne, how many places are you in at once for Australia-wide cover?
What do you mean?
Oh, no, I'm just making a joke.
No, I'll let me tell you. In 2017, I was working in Sydney. In 2018, I was working in the Gold Coast. In 2019, I was working in Wagga Wagga and the Riverina. In 2020, I was working in the ACT in Canberra, and in 21, and now in 22, I'm back in Sydney. So in the last 5 years, I've been in 3 different states and 4 different cities, places. So, those questions are important when, you have to go where you go for work or life or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. With life, oh my gosh, it just doesn't. I was on a plane to Sydney and I just got home an hour and a half ago. Yes, so Amadine, we can add facial to the policy as well. So absolutely.
But is Nadine, Amadine, is she qualified in facials? So, you have to have.
She just said that she got the certificate to do facials.
So I'm a massage therapist, remedial, but I did a course to do facial, so I got the certification. So even if I do massage, I did the certification to be able to give more service with Blys.
Yeah.
I mean, because isn't it great to get a massage and then a facial, one after the other? No problem, Amadine, at all. So it's exactly right. As Carrie-Anne said, one of the most important things is to make sure that you're certified and you're giving training to either yourself or to others around you. Some insurance providers require you to upload your certifications or, add in the dates that you received your training, etc. That's not required. If you wanted to ensure that you had extra comfort, we can send an email which says that the insurance partner's confirmed if you have the certificates and training and that's adequate, and you think you're adequately certified, then it's okay. So we can do that too. No problem at all, Amadine. Do any of you have like other products of insurance, or do you do any other work that's not quite massage therapy? Erin kind of mentioned meditation, still probably a little bit related. So it's all, health and wellness, I guess, but definitely counseling might be a little bit different. But yeah, you can always hit us up and ask us if you can kind of blend a few things together. Timia, did you have any questions? Did I say your name right, firstly? I did. Cool. And how many years have you guys been practicing? Tell me. Carrie-Anne, you sound like you've been practicing for a while.
Yeah, 20 years. And I do have a mix of other qualifications, but it's so funny because I'm at a crossroads about what I'm going to do. So I'm actually studying a Bachelor of Nursing now as well. But
because I was going to say nursing.
Yeah.
You can join both.
Yeah, well, it's, I'm still in a transition phase about various things. And I guess we all are with COVID, sort of, making us sort of question all sorts of things about life. But listening to you, I'm sitting here going, oh, I'm glad I didn't start that meditation course, teaching meditation again, because, I would have had to think about insurance for it. And look, we just don't earn enough, and I know I've been in the industry for 20 years, you don't make, you barely make a living and in all of these things. Yoga, I'm a yoga teacher as well, and I don't teach yoga because I just can't afford to. So, to then buy insurance products on top, you have to be really conscious of what you're doing and what your income stream is. Yeah.
Absolutely. So one thing that we've launched, and it also depends on the product, but there's monthly insurance solution that we've built for customers.
Yeah.
Particularly post-COVID.
Yeah.
And this is what I say about blending. I know it's not allied health, but there's landscapers that are also doing cleaning, and being able to get a policy for both under one is super helpful for people. And then having the option to pay monthly.
That's a really good point. I think a really good point, the monthly thing and that blending of things, because we're all having to become jack of trades. I did nannying through COVID.
Yeah, we don't do nannying, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anyone know a nanny? I need one.
Well, let me tell you, don't do nannying. but second to that, don't do any aged care work above nannying. I'd rather nanny than do aged care work now.
Yeah. And what's really interesting, especially post-COVID or in this current environment, there's a lot of disability support workers. And I think we're finding there's a very strong blend of people that are tending to do, they're trained or certified or qualified to do so many things. And you're so right, Carrie, and people are jacks of all trades.
Yeah.
I think we actually had a management consultant that was also a graphic designer.
The best one I read through COVID was a Qantas pilot. What did he do? I think he became an ambulance driver.
Yeah. So my uncle is a ex-Qantas pilot, and he is a bus driver and just loves it. Gets to wear his little epaulette shirt, still driving a plane.
Only responsible for 60 or 70 passengers instead of 300.
So Absolute Beauty, you had a question and have raised your hand very patiently, and I think there was someone else that had a question too. So
Doris as well might have had a question, but yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, hi, everyone, and Skye. And at the moment, I study psychotherapy. At the moment, the insurance that I with for 15 years, they kind of everything just add on, but they don't really have any workshop like you guys doing at the moment. So it would be anything that I can add on it as switch over.
Yeah, no, so that's right. So sorry, just to reconfirm, did you say you're studying psychotherapy at the moment?
Yes, psychotherapy and also the hypnotherapy.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right. So you could add massage therapy, psychotherapy, and hypnotherapy all into one policy.
Yeah.
And actually the way the insurance works is it's such a complicated industry, but the reality, and this is why we make and enable people to get a price with 2 inputs, is revenue is a really strong driver. And if you're doing this as a side hustle or not earning that much, it's likely to hit the lowest possible premium. And then what we do with our friends at Blys is we add in this ability for us to add discounts too. So while you're adding in a lot of different occupations, you're actually broadening your ability to make sure you're covered for everything you do without actually having to pay for 3 policies, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do any of you actually have equipment insurance, or are you interested in that? Because that's something we're looking to build. So you're like tumbleweed. It's a no. It's a strong no.
Basically, I can't afford it.
Really?
I can't afford. I don't have personal health insurance anymore because I can't afford that.
How expensive is that, by the way?
I know. It's just, but I was like prior to COVID, you know, I was earning enough to pay my super, to pay my insurance, to pay my tax and stuff. But now, you know, I'm just not. So yeah.
And that's the thing with business owners. And one thing I definitely have learned working with business owners for a while now, and being a business owner myself, like this is a decision I had to make. I stopped my super contributions and definitely all my life insurance for at least a year. And then I had a baby. I was like, I better get this again. But, you know, like these are things you have to make a decision about your business and how you're going to run it as an individual, and you should be able to make those decisions yourself. I think all we're trying to do with Blys and our platform is just help you make decisions yourselves and give you the tools so you can do that. It's not to say, Carrie-Anne, that your existing insurance partner might not be totally adequate and you've been there a long time. So it's just another option, definitely. So was it Doris had another question? Doris, did you have a question?
No, I'm okay.
Oh, you're fine now. Okay.
It's very clear.
Okay. Oh, it's super. Oh, thank you. I'm almost disappointed in the fact that you've all stayed on the call and we've spoken about insurance for 1 hour. Look, I actually think I said the other day, I really just don't know how I feel about the fact that people are interested in having a conversation. You know, you almost think that people are disinterested, but the thing is, it's your livelihood and it's your business. And I think the reality is sometimes you just don't get to ask these things. You know, and it's, you'll wake up at 2 a.m, ask us a question on our website, we will get back to you. And that's just pretty much how we are trying to do things. And I know Erin is absolutely much the same. So power to you, Erin, and building an incredible, incredible business, and everyone that's also building their businesses too. You know, it's a tough time at the moment. But you know, I think, you know, it is also exciting because you can reconsider all the things you do. And as Amadine is doing, she's got so many certifications and things she's expanding into. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Skye. It was really good to sort of open our minds and think about various things as well. And I'll definitely keep it in mind for another business that I have, a small business idea that I have. I'd definitely love some help with that. So I really appreciate your time, and the way you've presented the information was really well done.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, look, it's something that I care deeply about. So anything to help you all kind of get on with things and also set and forget, hopefully, because, you know, you're all doing the right thing. And I think it's really just something that you've just got to have. It's a little arsenal in your toolbox. And, you know, some people just never have to use it, which is the good thing. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, everyone.
Thank you so much, Skye.
Go and have dinner, or I don't know, wind down time.
I'll be sure to send out an email tomorrow to everyone that attended with a recording, but also Skye and Will's details if anyone doesn't have them, so you can get in touch.
Hey, and Will, thank you so much for joining the call, but also for organising this and making it happen. I really appreciate it. You and Erin have put in a tremendous amount of work.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Bye.
Great night,
As
everyone.
Aberdeen says, good night, everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.